Hello, welcome to the Express class this week. It's the first one in the new year, so I'm going to go a little bit easy. Probably haven't kept up the classes over Christmas, things tend to slip around then. So we're going to run through a few warm-up exercises again. We're going to start to work the abs, work the glutes, just get used to doing some of the technique as opposed to kind of really pushing you too much. So we're going to start from a nice easy class this week and then we'll build it up through January, make them a little bit harder, and then we'll start to specialise into little areas again through February, March and April then after that. So we'll come on to the hands and knees and we'll get started. We'll take it nice and easy today. So we're going to drop the ribs down to the mat, arching the low back as much as you can, and then lift the head up, looking up in front, and push those ribs down towards the mat, and then drop the head down, and push the ribs up to the ceiling, lifting the chest up as high as you can, and rounding your mid-back, and push the hands away from the body. Drop the ribs back down, lift the head up, looking up in front again, and then drop the head down, ribs up towards the ceiling. Drop the ribs back down, lift the head up, and last one, drop the head down, ribs to the ceiling, and then drop down halfway. Look down between the fingertips, tuck the elbows in, pick the left foot up, out as far as you can, look around your left arm, left foot back in, right foot up now to the side, look around the right arm, back in, left foot up now to the side again, and back in, right foot up and out, back in, one more each side, left foot up and out, and then last one, right foot up and out, and then back in. Good. Next one we're going to do a little bit of coordination. We're going to be left leg back behind the body, right arm up in front, so we have a nice straight spine coming down through the body, and we're going to draw circles with the heel and the hand. So what we want to do is keep the body as still as we can, and just make nice round circles. Keep the shoulder blades pinched together. Engage the abs so they're squeezing so the back stays flat. We don't want to see the back moving with the leg. Good. Change directions. Squeezing the abs. Pull the shoulder blades back and down. And bring the arms and legs down. Right leg back. Left arm up in front. Shoulder blades together. Squeeze the abs. Little circles again. Good. Nice round circles, make sure the back stays flat. You don't see it arching and bending. Change directions. Pinch the shoulder blades. And arms and legs down. Good. Two more on the hands and knees. Bring the hips and shoulders to the left. Right leg back behind the body, and then this one's balance. Right arm up in front, and back down. Hips and shoulders to the right. Left leg back. Left arm up in front. Keep the body flat, so try not to twist and open up the chest. Keep the chest facing down towards the mat. And then hands, legs back down onto the mat. Last one on the hands and knees. Tuck the elbows in so they're pointed back towards the toes. Tuck the toes underneath the feet. Squeeze the abs, pinch the shoulder blades together. And lift the knees up. And lower. So this starts to engage the abs a little bit more. Naturally you do it as you lift the knees up. Good. And it helps us maintain that flat back posture with a tiny little curve we want to have in the back. Tuck the elbows in. Bring some awareness to the shoulders. Pull the shoulder blades away from the ears. Chin is tucked in, keeping the neck as long as you can. Lift the knees. And then rest back down. Perfect. Over onto your back now. So, head resting onto our head block. Relax the hands down. Knees are bent, feet are on the mat. Have the feet about 8 inches apart. So 6 to 8 inches. 15 to 20 centimeters. And the first thing you want to do is just relax, let the ribs push up. I'm going to imprint the spine. As you roll the hips back, pull the rib cage down and relax. Imprint, pull the ribs down and relax. Remember, relax the shoulders, relax the arms by the side. Keep the chin tucked in so you're looking straight up to the ceiling. And just keep imprinting the spine, focusing on rolling the pelvis back and pulling the rib cage down. and relax. 2 more. Imprint and depress the ribs, pull them down. Last one, push the ribs up, arch the back, pull the ribs down, imprint the spine, and then roll the hips through, lifting them up off the mat. A nice straight line from the knees through the hips to the shoulders, and then roll back down. Imprint, roll the hips as far as you can, lift the hips up, and then back down. Good. Keep going. 3. And exaggerate all of this. So push the ribs up, arch the back, imprint, pull the ribs down, roll the hips back, and keep scooping the hips up. So imagine you can feel each vertebrae lifting up, one after the other, starting from the lower ones, working your way up the back. Lift up, and then as you come back down, it's going in the opposite direction. You're feeling the upper vertebrae come down one at a time, one after the other, after the other, after the other, until your tailbone's on the mat. And then arch the back, push the ribs up, and one last one. And lifting up. Good. And then come back down. Perfect. Right knee to the chest, left foot on the mat, lift and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep the knee tight to the chest. 5, and imagine it's coming overhead. 6, not up to the ceiling. 7, 8, 9, one more, 10, and back down. Right foot on the mat, left knee to the chest, and lift, and lower. 1. When you have the knee in nice and tight to the chest like this, you won't feel like you lift that high. You feel like you're only lifting about 2-3 inches off the mat, but that's okay. What I want is to make sure that that knee doesn't push up to the ceiling. We start to arch the back. We want to keep the back as flat as we can, and we force the glutes to work. And as we bring the knee in nice and tight to the chest, you're sort of curving the back in the opposite direction. So you start to round it a little bit, which means we can't lift up as high. 2 more. And last one. Make sure you don't get lazy now. Really try and push the hips up as high as you can. And then rest back down. Good. So we're just running through all the different muscles today. We'll make sure you have the technique right. So we've worked a little bit on the glutes there. We're going to come back to them at the end. We're going to work on the glute med and the glute min on the side. Next we're going to do a little bit for the upper abs, and then we're going to do a little bit for lower traps. We're going to tie a little bit of the abs work in before we transition to the lower traps. So next we're going to do, straighten the legs onto the mat, hands back behind the head. We're going to fling the arms forward, so tuck the elbows in, don't have them pointing into the side. Point the elbows up towards the ceiling, hands back behind the head, imprint the spine, but focus on pulling the rib cage down. So we're increasing the work in the upper abs now straight away. We're pulling the ribs down, arms forward, and roll up. At the top, push the chest forward, pinch the shoulders together, elbow points down, but palms face each other. And come back down. It feels really strange with the hands as you do that. We're trying to build that control. Up nice and tall, and back down. Good, round the back on the way down. Arms forward as you come up. Push the chest forward, let it lead you up at the top. And then coming back down. Perfect. Good. And back down. Nice and slow and controlled. Don't reach up to the ceiling for today. We're going to do all the easy ones. Make it a little bit easier for the first class in the year. But also just to really focus on that technique. Make sure everything's nice and slow and controlled. Make sure you're not building in little bad habits. We're going to start the year off right. Keep the elbows pointing down. 2 more. Up nice and tall. Pull the chest forward at the top. Back down, and one last one. Arms forward, rolling up, chest comes forward, and then round the back on the way down, slowing yourself down. You can stop at any point. Each vertebrae hits the mat, one at a time. Perfect. Next one, bend the knees, hands by side. So we're going to run through a set of hundreds. Again, we're going to go for the easy version. Feet on the mat. We're going to really push the technique today. So we're going to imprint the spine. Big deep breath in. Breathe all the air out. Ribs pull in together. You'll start to feel the chest lift a little bit off the mat, and that's what we want. Hands by the side. We're going to tuck the chin in. We're going to lift the head and shoulders up. Get the bottom of the shoulder blades off the mat and beat the hands. 2, 4, 5. Breathe out. 2, 4, 5 and in. 2, 4, 5 and out. 2, 4, 5 and in. 2, 4, 5, out 2, 4, 5, in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 4, 5, in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 4, 5, in 2, 4, 5, out 2, 4, 5, keep the chin tucked in, drop the shoulder blades back. Good, keep breathing smooth breaths in and out. Good, roll the chest up as high as you can. Breathe out, and last breath in. And breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rest the head down onto the mat. Good, so we've worked the abs, upper abs there a little bit more. Focus on bringing the abs into it just before that. We're going to do a little bit of balance work next. So we're going to come into teaser, into boat pose. So we're going to imprint the spine, rib cage comes down, legs to tabletop. This time keep the knees and feet together so you don't have a little gap between them. With the knees and feet together, hands back behind the head again. Roll up onto the back of the hips, chest comes forward and keep the heels off the mat. And then come back down. Good, when you push the chest forward to the top, you'll feel you just level out with your balance. And then back down. 2, we're just going to go for 5, 3, and back down. 2 more, 4, and back down, keep the knees together. 5, back down onto the mat, round in the back, hands back, and bring the feet down. So just working a little bit on balance there. We're getting used to pushing the chest forward. You find your balance is a lot better once you extend the back. We're going to turn onto your side now. So back lined up at the back of the mat. Little bend at the hip, feet coming toward the front of the mat. Rest the head on top of the hand. Top hand on top of the pelvis. So you feel a little bony piece at the front of the hip there. Find that and put your index finger on it. Thumb will come around the back of your pelvis down. Reach the left leg to the bottom of the mat and lift and lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now keep the pelvis still. Make sure it doesn't lift up and down. So we don't want to see it coming up and down like this. We want the pelvis to stay still and just the leg lifts and lowers. Last 2 and last 1 and rest down. So we think about the stabilising the pelvis and up and down movements. Next we want to prevent too much rotation around the pelvis so we don't have that forward and backwards movement. So again we push the left leg down towards the bottom of the mat, lift the leg about 6 inches so it's parallel to the floor like that, and you're going to draw little circles. 1, 2, and as you draw these circles you notice when the heel comes back the pelvis wants to push forward, and as the leg comes forward the pelvis wants to sink back. So we want to stop any movements like this. We want to keep the pelvis as still as we can. That's why we have the hand there. We just draw little circles. We change directions then. And we just draw around that centre line. So we go about 2 or 3 inches below where the leg is horizontal to the floor. And we go 2 or 3 inches above where the leg is parallel to the floor. I mean, not horizontal. So the leg is parallel to the floor, just at the start, so 2 or 3 inches above and below that line. And rest the top leg down. Good. We're going to turn onto the stomach next. You're going to move the headrest just off the mat. We're going to rest the 2 hands down, palms on top of each other. Rest the forehead and the back of the hands. We're going to imprint the spine in this position. So we flatten the back out. We take that curve out of it. We don't have that big curve there. We want to squeeze the abs, tuck the hips underneath the body. Make the back flat. Rest the head and the back of the hands. Pull the shoulder blades back and down. And then lift the arms, head and chest just up off the mat and lower. 1, 2, 3, small little lifts. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. And then lower back down. Good. Relax the back. Arch in the back now. We're going to try a little bit more. We're going to work the lower traps a little bit harder now. So again, we flatten ourselves down, hands back by the hips, squeeze the abs, flattening at the low back, twist the hands out and up, and lift the chest, and lower. 1. So this time we're not maintaining that imprinted spine, we're allowing the back to curl. We're starting to work our lower traps more as they lift the chest up. Keep the chin tucked in. 4, 5, squeeze the hands back behind your back, as close together as you can get them. 7, 8, 2 more, 9, one last one. Lift the chest, hold yourself there, reach the hands to the bottom of the mat, and then lower back down. Perfect. And then last one, we're going to turn over onto the opposite side. So again, we're going to lie down, back lined up at the back of the mat, feet come sweeping forward to the top of the mat. We lift the top leg up and lower once. So it's literally 30 centimeters up off the mat and lower down. 5, 6, remember push that heel away from the body. Good, we're going to stop the pelvis from lifting up and down as you lift the legs, so keeping all around here perfectly still, and rest the leg down. Last exercise, little circles, 10 each direction. So lift the leg up parallel to the floor and small circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and change direction. Remember, keeping that pelvis still, it's not rocking backwards and forwards. As the leg comes forward, the pelvis will push backwards, and as the leg comes backwards, the pelvis will push forwards. So your body will start to get used to that rhythm, and as you start to learn to correct it. And what you want is this top hand to give your brain that feedback and to feel that move. We're not good at knowing what happens around our pelvis from these sort of rotational movements, so the hand is here to help you. And rest the leg down. And that's it for today's class. I hope you enjoyed class. A little bit different, a little bit easy to start the new year. So it's just to get you back into some good habits, really get that foundation right, and we'll build on that now over the next month. See you next week. Bye bye.